Support for this episode comes from Modern Football Technology. Modern Football Technology provides real-time opponent tendencies and self-scout while eliminating manual data entry into Huddle, DV Sport, and Exos. If you're tired of tools that are time-consuming to learn and perform inconsistently at best, then we recommend Modern Football for a fresh perspective. Schedule a demo today at teammofo.com to see a battle-tested tool that's proven to perform and deliver value. Mention Coach and Coordinator Podcast or use the coupon code CC10 to receive 10% off your first year. And listen to our recent episode featuring Folsom High School defensive coordinator Jordan Ersick to learn more about how the 2023 California State Champion uses modern football to dominate their opponents.
This is Sadiq Haynes, defensive line coach, UTSA.
Dan Carroll, co-defense coordinator, linebackers coach, Coastal Carolina.
Scotty Walden, head football coach at Austin Peay State University. And you're listening to the Coach and Coordinator Podcast.
The people that lead your defense or people that lead your offense or the guys you really count on in the coaching staff, we can't have bad practices. So if the energy's got to be up, somebody's got to do it. So if the players aren't doing it, then you have to do it as a coach. And generally, I think the most success you're ever going to have is that, it's a mix of both. We all see the need to keep high energy in practice, and we keep it, we work on it together.
Ralph Waldo Emerson said the world belongs to the energetic. That's so true in our great game. The energy of the individuals can drive the energy of the team, and as coaches, we have to set the tone and bring energy to our players, units, and teams. The nature of our physical game and the grind of a long season demand it, and nothing will bring your team down like a lack of energy. Coaches who exude energy have a magnetic presence that draws people close. Their ability to command attention sharpens a player's focus and concentration, making them effective motivators. Energy begets energy. We're all familiar with what poor coaching energy looks like during practice. It may involve coaches failing to set clear goals, adopting a monotonous tone, remaining stationary on the field, or even sitting back and doing nothing. Coaches lacking energy may display closed body language and use repetitive feedback, language, and drills without considering the needs of the athletes. Having good coaching energy doesn't mean being a loud rah-rah coach or constantly jumping up and down on the sidelines. It's about being positive, consistent, and engaged in demonstrating care for your players and the team. However, it's essential to be mindful that displaying good coaching energy is draining, so you need to take time to recharge. Nonetheless, the impact of energy on the player's response can help coaches push through challenging moments in the grinding season. Coaching energy is contagious, and it's important to let it permeate throughout the entire program. With that in mind, today we share ideas from 3 coaches on what they do to bring energy and set the tone for the day. Whether it's the approach to starting a meeting or by creating drills and practice flow conducive to bringing energy, there's plenty to take away from the ideas shared here. What you see on tape is a direct reflection of what you teach and how you teach. Video is important, but if you don't teach well, you're not going to like what you see on your video. First Down Playbook has been helping coaches teach better for 13 years. It allows you to present installs, playbooks, and practice cards in half the time with NFL quality. Coaching tools like video pairing, a player app, practice schedules, and wristband sheets have made First Down Playbook a program management system with everything in one place. If you're in a position of leadership with your football program, receive a free 1-week look at First Down Playbook. Call them at 512-814-6158 or visit them on their website or social media. Mention Coach and Coordinator Podcast or use the coupon code COACH24 to receive a $100 discount off the normal $700 First Down Playbook team membership price. Links and the phone number are in the show notes. First up is Sadiq Haynes, the defensive line coach at UTSA. He believes that energy comes from the attitude and camaraderie that has been built already, but knows that the beginning of camp is the time to set the tone for the rest of the season. He explains the approach he takes and how he likes to get that energy going in their first meeting as a position group.
Well, in my honest opinion, I think the excitement comes from the vision And what I mean by that is, specifically the past 2 years for us, finishing with those bowl games, we lost both of them the past 2 seasons. So even transitioning into the spring, guys want to get better. It's no different when we're approaching the start of the season. We have that chip on our shoulder. The guys are excited to put the pads back on. As much as we all enjoy that time off, I know especially for coaches, the ones that I talk to, just like the players, if you go too long without the pads on, you start to feel that excitement. Specifically for us, we're moving into the AAC, so that's something that has the guys really excited. Locking in on the goals, which we say is winning the day, and that's kind of how we fine-tune it. The excitement is being able to go out there, be with your brothers, be with your coaches, in an amazing atmosphere, going out there to just try to focus on that day and winning the day.
And I know that first day, there's always, it's great seeing those guys walking in, doing all the report day activities. There's a lot of administrative stuff for them. They probably have a team meeting. They probably have a unit meeting. And then finally for you, it's that opportunity to get them into your room and address them for the first time. And what's going to be those first things you say to these guys when you guys get together as a position group?
It's actually unique. We start in our team meeting in the morning. So one of the things that make us unique and different, Coach allows us to play music right before the meeting starts. And what that does, I think everyone always looks forward to that first day. You got the newcomers, you got the freshmen, but they know because we practice in the morning, when they hear the music, they know that's when it's starting to get closer. And, that's kind of when we as coaches, we get to greet them at the door. We're usually playing something, obviously, that they like. Sometimes we got old-time hits. Sometimes we got the new hits playing. But that's the very first time we see them. So that initial look on their face when we see them, get the music going, that's exciting. Specifically, when we transition into the defensive line room, man, we do such an amazing job throughout the whole year building the camaraderie, building the chemistry. When we see those guys again, a lot of times we try to get together for, a last hurrah before camp starts, whether it's, having a barbecue over at the house, taking them out to eat somewhere. So it's not like we've spent a lot of time away from each other. But day one, I can look them in the eyes and say, here we go. Here's the beginning of this new season. Here's the beginning of re-identifying who you are. Here's the beginning of being able to get that chip off your shoulder. And it starts with winning the day. So that's important. That's exciting to be a part of. And that's what those guys look forward to, really just to see them one more time, but also to look forward to starting the journey to beginning the season.
Okay, so Coach Traylor says, Coach Haynes, I'm passing you the aux cord. You have the first song. What is that song you're putting on?
Oh, man. Well, right now, I think Gunna got one of the hottest albums in the country right now. I've been playing that on repeat. So I think it's just his very first song is Back at It. I think that's going to be the very first song I play when we start the meeting. So I think that'll get the guys going right now. As I hear in the locker room, they have his album playing, so that'll probably be the first song.
As coaches, we know that some of the biggest hurdles to our team's success can come from off the field. Your team needs support to tackle the endless list of expenses, uniforms, training equipment, travel, and more. But raising that money can feel like a full-time job. Thankfully, there's Vertical Raise. Vertical Raise is the premier online fundraising platform using innovative technology to create the easiest and most efficient system available. Raise more money in less time with a local fundraising coach who works with your team every step of the way to customize the ideal fundraiser. With options for online donations, digital discount cards, premium product sales, and even spirit shops, Vertical Raise has top-of-the-line solutions for every fundraising style. To find out more, visit verticalraise.com and we'll get you connected with an exclusive offer on your first fundraiser. Next, Dan Carroll, co-DC and linebackers coach for Coastal Carolina, shares how he likes to get things moving fast at the beginning of practice to inject energy for the rest of the day. He also shares his belief on how both the players and the coaches sharing in creation of the energy is what creates something magical.
It's usually either a team period or offense or defense, but start something fast. I think a lot of people do this. This is something that's been around for a while. I mean, we've gotten the idea of watching different practices, whether in pro football or in college football, just different places that we've been as coaches here on the staff I'm on now and previous staff, start to practice fast, whether that's a get lined up and communicate and adjust the motion period if you're a defense, whether that's a tempo period if you're a defense. We've designed some tempo periods to start practice where, maybe you set different ball spots of trash cans and you use your scout team guys or some of your coaches make formations and you move it down the field, or maybe do a varsity offense and they got to go tempo and you got to go tempo, whether they run a play or not. Just the ability to get communicated and get lined up. It kind of sets the pace of practice, gets everybody in that mind frame of I got to think, I got to be able to think, I got to move, and it's time to go practice. Where, in the past, maybe some of us, myself for sure, been involved in practices that you break stretch, and then you're in Indy, and then it's kind of like keep getting them warmed up in Indy because they're not quite ready to go, and mentally they're not quite there, so you got to move them around a little bit. And then by the time Indy's over, maybe I didn't get as much done as I wanted to because they were dragging, and you really want to try to shock that out of them at the beginning of practice.
Yeah, sometimes all that warm up and stretching and all that's overrated. Like Bob Wiley said, right? They did jumping jacks and push-ups in World War II. They didn't stretch, and they won 2 world wars. So that idea, though, of getting into it right away does bring the energy, I think, to the practice. For you as a coach, what's your approach? Do you go out there looking to turn the energy on, or are you looking for your players to take the lead on that?
The energy has to be high, and however that gets done, if you come out there and you have players that generally do that, and typically we just broke a meeting, right? So we get out of the meeting, and they got a few minutes to finish getting ready and meet you on the practice field. So the meeting's going to set the tone for the energy at practice, especially with your position group or the defense or the offense or whatever you coach. So I think that there has to be a high level of energy. Your leaders and the people that you count on at practice, they can never have a bad practice. I got to work at the University of Houston. I was there with Tom Herman, but the guy came out to practice to talk to our team is Kelvin Sampson. Obviously, he's done an unbelievable job building the basketball team down there at the University of Houston. And he said, no matter what happens at practice, the only 2 people that can't have a bad practice are the point guard and the head coach. So anybody else, we can survive if you have a bad practice, but the point guard and the head coach can never have a bad practice. And I take that from a football term as the people that lead your defense or people that lead your offense or the guys you really count on and the coaching staff, we can't have bad practices. So if the energy's got to be up, somebody's got to do it. So if the players aren't doing it, then you have to do it as a coach. And generally, I think the most success you're ever going to have is that, it's a mix of both. We all see the need to keep high energy at practice, and we keep it, we work on it together.
Last up today is a guy who, if you've seen him present or coach, embodies the word energy. Scotty Walden is the head football coach at Austin Peay University. He shares how they set the tone and get the juices flowing at the beginning of practice with drills which he calls for the brand.
Yeah, I think it starts with a drill we've been doing for a long time. We've just kind of renamed it, but it starts every practice for us. We even do it in the season, but fall camp, we tend to get more matchups just to set that tone. But we call it FTB, and that stands for the brand drill. And so our brand of football at Austin Peay State University is fearless, fast, and physical. And so that provides a visual for everybody to know what our brand of football should look like when you watch us play. But we have to live that every day. And so this drill makes us adhere to that brand. And so basically, I love it because it's a starter to practice. It gets guys fired up. It gets the team fired up. And the coaches create the matchups. And so we put the best versus the best. So it'll be an offense versus defense thing. If there's 2 really good, DBs, we'll put those guys against each other. But basically the drill, and the thing I love about it too, is a very diverse drill because you can mix up a myriad of drills. I would say our base ones. So for day one, right, we go out there, we're going to be fearless. So we have to come up with a drill that, puts our guys in a situation to where we're trying to make them nervous. We're trying to get a bunch of noise around them, and they got to be fearless in that moment. So very simply, the most simplest version is we'll start out that practice with a one-on-one. It's just, hey, one-on-one receiver versus DB, linebacker versus running back, O-line versus D-line, but it's in front of the whole team. A ton of noise around it. We're trying to distract guys. It's O versus D, and there's one winner, one loser. And then we even get it to the kickers later on, and then we'll put them on the spot, game-winning field goal. And nobody knows who's getting called out. That's the part too where they've got to really just answer the call and compete in front of their teammates. When we do fast, that is, the most easiest example I could give you is we do pro agility, L drill. We'll do something where we put the fastest guys against each other, but also we've done different team events like where we will have an egg crate on about 10 yards away, and we will ask those two players competing to get all 10 tennis balls that are in that egg crate to another egg crate at their starting point. And so they're having to play fast but think fast at the same time. So we have, again, these drills are very versatile. We come up with something we feel like is conducive to the brand, we'll do that. And then the last one, physical. That's going to be a lot of times we like to go inside drill, right there. Just put the ball down, go right to inside drill, and it's going to be, one of the most physical. We're going to run about 3 plays in that. This is a very low rep period, but it is going to be the 3 most intense reps of the day to emphasize the physicality that we need to play with. And then the thing I love doing right after FTB drill, we go right into a team period. We don't go into anything. We go from something extremely intense individually to the whole team riding that wave of momentum into a team structure. And so that's been really good for us to set the tone for fall camp as we get going.
Now, is that something you carry some of those things over throughout the season?
Yep, we actually do that Tuesday and Wednesday during the season as well. We set the tone. Fall camp, we set the tone with it because we'll do a lot more matchups in the season. I'll just go like on Tuesday, I'll go fearless and fast, and I'll just do like one matchup each, and we're rolling. It's like boom, boom, boom to the point. Put them. That's where you can start to get those developmental guys involved, freshman guys you haven't seen involved a little more. And then Wednesday we'll do a physical one, and then we'll move on. Those are pretty quick, but they do set the tone for practice during the season as well.
Thank you again for listening to the Coaching Coordinator Podcast. Have a great start to your day and bring the juice. Be sure to listen to our past episodes with each of these coaches who joined us here today. They're full of takeaways that can help you this season. Follow all we're doing at coachandcoordinator.com and follow us on Twitter at Coach K. Grabowski.